hopefully this stream lasts longer than the last stream, which was about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Internet totally sucks tonight, and I figured it out. I just think there's a lot of tourists on Salt Spring right now, and they're using the internet, and it's taken up my valuable internet time to live stream with you good people. When I went to town today, it was so flippin' packed, I couldn't even get a parking spot. I had to park illegally, which I usually do anyway, because I break the rules. So anyway, guys, pop in and say hi. And we'll keep you updated on the weather here on the Southern Gulf Islands on the southwest coast of Canada, because there is a Arctic front, a cold front sliding down from Alaska. She has opened her doors up, and it's going to be a while before it gets here. So it looks like it's going to be here Christmas night. So Christmas Day, it's going to be rain. Christmas night, it's going to start getting cold. Sunday night is going to be ugly cold. I'm guessing we're going to be into the low 20s here. I would doubt. I would be very surprised if we got below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but we could. And if we do, it happens, and there's nothing I can do about it except shoot a YouTube video so you can see how cold it is here, because I will shoot a video of the weather, my weather gauge, my Oregon Scientific weather station, so you can see exactly what it's doing here. So, and just because it's one temperature in one place doesn't mean it's going to be the same temperature somewhere else. You know that. You guys are into the weather too, I would hope. So you know it varies location to location, right? It could be 30 degrees Fahrenheit where you are and 25 somewhere else. Okay, I'm back again, Palms. The stream died. It may die again. So if I suddenly disappear, it means the internet connection sucks here. It sucks. So currently here it's about 45 degrees Fahrenheit, just a little lower, and light rain coming down here on the northern end of Salt Spring Island. So this is stream number 2. Stream number 1 failed. So, like I say, we got cold weather on the way. Cold weather, and then possible snow coming too. So we're going to have a taste of winter. We're going to have a taste of winter coming starting Christmas night. Not Christmas Eve, Christmas night. So people that got newly planted palm trees that are maybe really on the edge, you might want to protect them. Bob Dude. Hey, I like that name, Bob Dude. Hi, Bob Dude. Cheers to you guys. Thanks for popping in. And yeah, keep an eye on the forecast if you're an exotic plant grower. Yeah, we had our first frost yesterday at minus 0.2 degrees Celsius. It wasn't cold enough, and it didn't last long enough to damage the most tender plants in our garden, which is fuchsias, calanchos. I'm going to shoot a video. I was looking at them today. I'm going to shoot a video of the calanchos tomorrow morning, and I will show you what Wendy's calanchos look like. She has a lot of calanchos in the garden, and calanchos are a tropical plant, and they're still blooming here. They're a succulent, and they're one of the first things that are going to freeze. So we're going to see how low the temperature will go here during our cold blast. I call them an Alaska blaster. And every so often, about once every 10 years or so, to the north of us, we have Alaska, long way, far, far north of us. And once in a while, she opens her doors up. And when she opens her doors up, that cold air often can slide down the coast. So if we're going to get cold, really cold air in winter, or frigid air, I should say, it comes from Alaska. We don't get anything from the east, okay? We get it from Alaska. And the jet stream just pulls it right down, dry, cold, Arctic air. And that dry, cold Arctic air comes down the coast, and it mixes with our warm, moist Pacific air, and that equals snow. And I absolutely despise snow, and I would actually rather have it minus 5 or minus 6 degrees Celsius than about 10 inches of heavy, wet snow. Matter of fact, I think I would take minus 7, let's say minus 7 degrees Celsius over the heavy, wet snow that we're probably going to get. So anyway, stay tuned. I will make videos of that for you guys to see here. As much as I hate winter and I hate snow and I don't like cold, it does make for some interesting videos, especially if you like weather and exotic plants. I recently noticed my decline. Okay, yeah, I have Dickie in the ground. Let's just see. Well, I'm going to show you the forecast I got here, the short-term forecast for the next several days. So it's looking pretty cold. Here, I'll just post it for you. This is the only forecast I really use because it's more. It's a little better than the other ones. Put it that way. It's more like where we live on this end of the island. It's more pertains to our temperatures, right? So it could last a week, could last 5 days. Who knows? We'll see. I like one of the worst freezes I remember here was December 2008, and it lasted a good maybe 5 to 7 days. It was a pretty good freeze. Temperatures down to minus 7.7 degrees Celsius. So the thumbnail I put on this video was from December 1996. It was from around this time, and the low temperature was about minus 7.5 degrees Celsius. We had 28.5 inches of snow. It was record snowfall here in Salt Spring Island. Yeah, snow, prairie snow would probably be dry. Bob, you know when I like snow the best? When it's up on top of a mountain. I don't like what's in our garden because when it's in our garden, it makes a mess of things. And that's the problem with snow here. The snow on the coast is wet and sticky, and it does stick to plants like glue, especially BLEs. And if you don't know what a BLE is, it is a broadleaf evergreen. So a lot of times when I say BLE or an exotic plant grower says BLE, it's a broadleaf evergreen. And broadleaf evergreens such as southern magnolia, and other plants like that, they tend to be brittle, some of them rhododendrons, and they can break easily with the sticky wet snow on them. The majesties are still going fine. They're still going good. I saw them today. I went past them today, and they're still good. Maybe if I'm in town tomorrow, I'll shoot a video for you, okay? I'll get a video for you of the majesties because I did walk past them today, and I saw them at a distance. They're sitting in front of Buzzy's Smoked Meat Sandwich Shop, right beside Beachside Cafe, right beside the ocean. So it doesn't get that cold there. There is David Button, my pal down under. And David, it's 32 degrees where you are. Yes, we got to like that. Palmy and balmy. And I bet you're barbecuing right now, aren't you, buddy? Probably you're one day closer to Christmas than we are. Great. Yeah, so I'll show you, Palms, what those Ravinia rivularis look like. And, well, you know they're going to be toast in. So they'll probably make it till Christmas. They'll make it till Christmas, and then Christmas night they're going to be toast, because Christmas night is going to get down. It says here -4. Christmas night looks like -4 degrees Celsius, right? So give or take, really depends where you are. Some places might get -2, some places might get -5. It depends where you are. Hey, Joe, looks like might be one of the. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm not going to buy it, man. I'm not going to buy it. I'll tell you what. I've been gardening exotic plants for 40 years, and they've been through a lot of cold winters over the last many decades, right? So a lot of times they put extreme lows on there to kind of freak people out, right? So I say give or take. So I see a -8 for us on Sunday, but is it really going to be -8 here in this spot? Hey, it might be -8 somewhere, but it doesn't mean it's going to be -8 everywhere. I'm banking on, I'm going to say we probably not going to see temperatures below 20 degrees Fahrenheit at this spot here. But you know what? It can go below 20 degrees because I've seen it go as low as -7.7 degrees Celsius here. That's the lowest temperature I've recorded here in 3 decades at this location. And it can happen, right? We are in Canada. We're not in the tropics. So cold. It's going to happen every so often. The last time it happened was December 2008, about this time. Hello, HS. Good to see you there. So stay tuned for update videos. And like I say, I've got palms in the ground that have been in the ground since the mid-1980s, and they've been through cold before. I got one palm in the ground that's been from -15 degrees Celsius. Actually, -14.8 to be exact. So about -15 degrees Celsius. Mine survives spirit pole and area. Oh, really? Yeah, -5. The Majesty palms? Really? I'm guessing ours are probably going to be dead this far north, right? David Button, later, buddy. Catch you later. And man, I wish I was down under to have a barbecue with you. Well, I can't visit any country right now because I don't have the special medicine. I don't have my 2 tablespoons of special medicine, so I ain't going anywhere. And we were just talking about that with somebody that was just over here tonight. You know, we can't travel anywhere. We're kind of trapped in Canada. And right now, our dictator, I like to call him a dictator, is saying you should not travel anywhere unless it's essential, because you could get trapped there. So if I want to travel to Mexico to see my buddy Palms, I could be trapped in Mexico if they start changing the rules again, which he seems to like doing. And I don't even want to get into it because I can't stand the guy. Medicine, I call it the 2 tablespoons of special medicine. You know what I'm talking about. I can't say the word on here because everything's censored. So when I say 2 tablespoons of special medicine, actually people now are lining up for the 3rd tablespoon of special medicine. In some countries, they're lining up for their 4th tablespoon of special medicine. I think you know what I'm talking about. Do you still have treatment? Yes, we do. We have big tree fern in our garden. It's 6 feet of trunk, and it's been there. April will be 28 years. 28 years it survived everything that Old Man Winter can dish out. We have the smaller ones. Some of them died in the heat. In the end of June, they actually fried and died. The small one. Yeah, in the UK, it's third tablespoon. Here, it's third tablespoon. I think in Israel, it's fourth tablespoon. And you know, my youngest son has 2 tablespoons, and he got very badly sick with that world flu. Him and his girlfriend got very, very sick with the world flu in October. But his roommate, that doesn't have any special medicine in him, did not get sick at all, and he still hasn't been sick. So, and it looks like Wendy's sister might be sick too, and she's got 2 tablespoons of special medicine. So she's going for the test, you know what I mean, to see if she's got what people are worried about getting. You know what I'm talking about. And she's got 2 tablespoons, maybe 3, and she's sick right now, right? So be careful out there, folks. Me, knock on wood, I rarely get sick. I live my life as usual every single day, not in fear. You know, I go shopping without a face covering on. I hug people. I shake hands. I hugged Wendy's daughter tonight, gave her a kiss on the cheek. I'm fine. I hang around. We have dinner parties. We go for dinner. We're going to have a Christmas party, maybe a New Year's party. I'm not worried about it. Probably because I don't listen to the news. I think I will wait until they make a bet. Yeah, I don't blame you, Palms. I don't want any of it. No, I don't want any of it in me. But you know what? To each his own. My kids have it. You know, at least 2 of my kids have it. And I don't feel any different about anybody that gets it. It's your choice. And I believe in freedom of choice. So if you want to get it, that's good. You're not going to change the way I feel about you. I still like you the same. But a lot of people that get it don't feel the same way about us when we don't get it. And that I don't understand. It will go on forever. It will go on forever. If people keep complying, that's the way I see it. It will go on forever. So guess what? See, I'm kind of like, this is the way I am. You know, I'm kind of like a rebel. And so if everybody's doing one thing, I kind of do the opposite thing. That's the way I am. I do my own thing. I don't like follow a whole pack of people, and I'm observant. You know, I question things. I question a lot of things. And I was buying into this for the first 3 months. Actually, I was kind of scared the first 3 months of this because of what I listened to on the news. And it was a lot of fear mongering. And then I opened my eyes and I saw the canary in the coal mine. And then I started questioning things, investigating. So guess what? I don't want it. I caught on my yeah. No, you know what? And I somebody else, I watched a video of a guy that got it. And he says that's what it is. He doesn't need it. So anyway, I sat and had dinner with a nurse the other night, Wendy and I, at a restaurant where we can go. And she's regretting her first tablespoon of special medicine. She actually can't work anymore because of it. It's actually disabled her, and it's given her such a severe reaction. You know, when she got it, I guess, when were they giving out the first ones? Just about a year ago or in the spring. And it's still affecting her. And she's a nurse, so she cannot go back to work. She's actually off on leave because it's actually disabled her. It's made her that sick. She's lost all her strength. And there's a lot of other side effects she's had with it. So she says, don't get it. And she's regretting getting that. I'm also a rebel here. That's why I like Mexico too. Hey, Wendy. And that's what Palm says. He's a rebel here. He lives in Mexico. Part of the reason I like Mexico so much. Few nonsense rules and exactly, Palms. And that's what Wendy's thinking of too. Mexico's the place to be because Costa Rica has got a lot of those things going on like Canada. And Canada, people are complying. Yeah, Palms, you're a permanent resident, right? You live in Mexico City. So Wendy is actually looking at Mexico. Yeah, I know a guy that had blood clots too, HS. Yeah, he had to go to the hospital. He had blood clots. Also, my friend's brother died from the special medicine. So I will never get it. But like I say, I don't care if somebody gets it. You get it, that's your thing. Yeah, so Wendy is looking at Mexico, Palms. She's looking there beside Costa Rica too. And that's why she likes it. I have a friend that recently moved to Mexico and another friend that's going there because there's no nonsense in Mexico. And in Mexico, they're revolutionaries. You live in Durango, 3 hours from Mazatlan. Cool. Sounds like a nice... What's that? Well, how long have you lived there, Palms? Hello, White with Dreamy Eyes. Good to see you in there. Wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas, Dave. It's coming up in 3 days. Yeah, how long have you lived there in Durango? What's that? Yeah, he grows palms or he's got property. Yeah, well, he grows palms in his yard, so I'm guessing he does. Wendy's asking you if you have property there. You've been there 2 years. And did you move from the States? So Wendy is really seriously looking at Mexico too, because Mexico's more free and they don't buy into the bull crap, right? So, yeah, if we don't go to Costa Rica, and it's looking slimmer for Costa Rica because of all the rules and regulations now, Mexico. So I got a buddy that moved to Mexico in September. He's on my Facebook. He used to live here from Norway. You moved there from Norway. Wow. That's a long way away. It's funny. I got a friend that lives in Norway that moved there about 25 years ago or more from California. He's a geologist from Norway. That's so cool, man. I think, are you retired down there? See, if I move to Mexico, I'll be retired because I'm retired now, but I'm still going to pick up some side jobs here. I've had 3 different people ask me if I want to work for them. A guy phoned me last night and asked me if I want to drive the honey wagon, the honey truck. I call it's the septic tank truck, right? It's a job that actually really sucks, SHIT. So anyway, Mexico is looking very good. Wendy's been looking at property there too. And we're only waiting for one more piece of information to come back from Honolulu, which is our marriage certificate. I rent with the landlord. Things fine. That your landlord's awesome, and so are you, Palms. That you've made a jungle. And you know what? Mexico's cheap. That's why I like Mexico. You know what I mean? Costa Rica's cheap too, more than Mexico. It's a little bit more than Mexico, and Mexico's awesome. I got property I rent out. Cool. That's awesome. Well, if I ever leave Canada, if we can ever get out of here when these silly rules end and I can fly to Mexico, we sell our house, I will not come back. I will never come back to Canada. I'll be done. My kids can come visit me there. So Wendy's always looking down there too, Mexico. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I'm kind of stuck in Canada. I can't leave because of our dictator. Okay. And I do call him a dictator. And, if you know anything about the politics here, I call him Trudeau. How do we say Justin Castro? We'll call him Justin Castro. So basically retired, but you're in your 30s. Cool. So I'm 57. I'm retired, and I am looking to get out. Wendy's looking to get out too. We don't like the way things are going in Canada. It looks like it's going to get worse. I don't know if you've seen what's going on in Austria. It's downright frightening. It is downright frightening in Austria. Watch videos of what's going on in Austria. I'll tell you. And I have a feeling that's probably going to be coming here. So anyway, there's a bit of stuff we still got to do if we're going to sell our place too, right? So anyway, that's the plan. Maybe one day, hopefully sooner than later, we will end up down in Mexico. And Mexico is a long way from Norway. It's a lot closer to get to Mexico from Norway or from Canada than Norway, right? I think my friend lives in Allison, Norway. Yeah, Austria is scary, man. Oh my God, the lockdowns for the people that don't have their special medicine. It's pretty scary, man. Can we quit? Oh, I'm talking about the special medicine. Sorry. I get fired up about it because it's probably about a letter to the editor last week, and Wendy went up to the newspaper and tore a strip off the editor, and now every single letter to the editor in today's paper is pertaining to that hate letter that somebody wrote. Justin Castro, he does. You know what I mean? I think Justin is actually Castro's kid. Doesn't he kind of look like him? Anyway, I'm going to get back to the weather here for a minute. So we know there's a cold snap sliding down from Alaska. We call that the Alaska Blaster. It is going to get cold down here. And it's like I said, there's people down here that are kind of new into palm growing, and they've never experienced a lot of cold for their garden. I think in the back of their mind, they just think it's all going to be la la land, peaches and cream. And because they planted palm trees and they got all these special palms, they got Jubea and Butia and Camarops and all these other different ones and mule palm, it ain't going to get cold in their garden. Well, I know it'll get cold. I've been growing this stuff long enough, and I've been through a lot of cold winters. And I know Dave gets cold. So Dave's used to cold. It's probably like minus 15 degrees Celsius where Dave is. Here, it's 7 degrees Celsius right now. But by Saturday night, it could be minus 3 or minus 4 degrees Celsius. And Sunday night, it could be, minus 6 degrees Celsius. It's saying minus 8. Could be colder. Definitely 10 hours to Miami, then 2 to Mexico. Wow. Cool. That's a long way. I've been to Mexico twice. In 1981, went down to the Baja down to Ensenada. We drove down, me and my buddy. And then when did I go? 1996, February, I went to Cozumel. Cozumel, the island in the Caribbean side, which is quite nice. So anyway, we'll see how cold it actually gets here. And I know people are scrambling to protect their little babies out in their garden, their palm trees. Minus 34. Dave, like I said, get the long johns on. Minus 34. That is a hardcore Canadian right there. Dave, white with dreamy eyes, is a hardcore Canadian. I don't think I could handle minus 34. I don't know. Maybe it's a dry cold up there. That's pretty cold for me. So if it's minus 34 in Prince George, you know it's going to get stinking cold down here too. It's not going to get that cold, but it's going to get cold. Got him now. That's good for you. I don't own any long johns. I have a sweatshirt, and I have like a windbreaker kind of jacket. And I got that blue Mac jacket. That's about it. That's basically what we get by in the winter months here. And my toque. I got my Harley toque on that I bought in Skagway, Alaska. So we'll see. Anyway, stay tuned for updates. I will give you day-by-day updates of exactly how cold it gets here. I'm going to show you a super cool site, and I'm going to post the link here. And this is a neat site because on this site, you can take your cursor and you can scroll it over our island in the south coast, and it'll show you the exact temperatures, well, give or take. So this temperature was 2 degrees out on me. It was recording 2 degrees less. But anyway, this is a pretty cool site. So I use this one too, and it shows radar and all that stuff. They actually said minus 37. Whoa. But now they're saying that's cold. Minus 37 is enough to freeze the off a monkey, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't think I would be able to survive minus 37. Not wearing this stuff. Think you like the Pacific side? Yeah, we're going to the Pacific side if we go, because we do like mountains. And she is looking at Lake Chapala. Lake Chapala, up about it's east of Puerto Vallarta, and it's up at 6,000 foot. If we go down there, if we can get out of Canada. We can't get out of Canada yet. I am stuck here with Wendy. And, it's okay. Salt Spring Island, I'm glad I'm stuck on Salt Spring Island. We just have some friends moved to Kauai not that long ago. But he's American. She's dual citizenship. And, they're in Kauai now. They talked about it for a while, and apparently they left, and they're in Kauai, which is totally awesome. I'm happy for them. The Lake Chapala, Jija, I think it's a Jija, at 6,000 foot. There are coconut palms up there too, believe it or not. So basically the temperature year round is about 25 degrees Celsius, not too much hotter than that. Get down to 15 degrees, 14 in the wintertime, maybe a little less, not too much, but a good climate for growing all sorts of exotic plants. So if I get to a place like that, if I can make it out of this country, I will be growing a lot of exotic plants, just like I grow a lot of exotic plants here. So if it gets as cold, close to Guadalajara, yes. I often talk there on my radio. On my radios, I've talked to Mexico a lot of times, man. And love the Mexican people. Love the Mexican food. Love Mexican food. It's so awesome. And you know what? There's a lot of people here on Salt Spring Island that actually have homes in Mexico. I like living here. We have much. You have Northern pride, and you are a hardy Canadian, and you're a good Canadian. Unfortunately, I did take down our Canadian flag because I'm very upset with Canada right now. Yes, you can grow everything in Lake Chapala. I looked at the stuff that grows there, and then I looked at the mean temperatures, annual temperatures, all that stuff. And it's a pretty palmy and balmy place. And being at the higher elevation, it's probably never too sickening hot, but a very nice spot to garden. And you can grow a lot of tropical fruit there too. So here, we ain't going to grow any tropical fruit. I mean, we can grow loquat, we can grow some pineapple guavas, persimmons, hardy bananas, but you're not going to eat the fruit on them. Pomegranate, some people grow. We grow almonds. There's olives, so it'll be interesting. And it will be interesting, this cold snap with the olive farm on Salt Spring Island. Grew up Alberta. The cold here on Salt. That's what people tell me. People tell me that, Bob, that the cold here is more piercing because it's damp. So I'll be working outside on a winter day when I was working, and say it's 5 degrees Celsius above. Damp, cold, fingers are cold. I worked with a guy from Alberta, and he says, yeah, well, you know what? It can be 5 degrees Celsius below, but it actually feels colder here at 5 above, because it's a dry cold there. Being here 9 years, wouldn't go back. Yeah, well, I don't like cold, so I could never like. I can't live anywhere where palm trees can't grow, and I've always said that ever since I was younger. You know what I mean? I can't live anywhere where palm trees can't grow, because if you can't grow a palm tree, that means the winters are too cold for me. And I always said that to my ex. I can never move east. I can only move west, but I could probably move a little northwest to Tofino. I found -4 in Vancouver. Yeah, isn't that interesting? So, Dave, it's dry cold up there. And I know what you mean. You know, I've never been anywhere else in the wintertime that's been cold. Okay. Whenever I go somewhere in the wintertime, it's to a tropical place or a warm place like California. But I've never been anywhere other than here that is cold. I was here in the wintertime. I've only experienced this. I shouldn't say in the wintertime. I've only experienced this much cold in the winter, what we get here on the Pacific Coast. You should grow a few trackies and like, I think they probably work there too. Palm trees, the big mall. Yes, they're right. I've been to the big mall many times because my ex, her aunt and uncle lived right across the street from West Edmonton Mall, and her cousins worked there. So when we stayed there for a week one summer, we'd walk across every single day because that's all you really do in Edmonton. Then we went to those pyramids. They have these glass pyramids with plants in them. And then he pointed out there's our ski hill, or they had this tiny little ski hill. And so my ex-wife was born in Edmonton and Wendy was born in Calgary. But they moved to White Rock when they were little kids back in the Wendy moved to White Rock in the 1960s when she was very small. And then my ex moved 1971 to White Rock. So been on the coast their whole life pretty much. But I don't think I could handle Edmonton in the winter. Summertime is beautiful. Hey, I like it. I just don't like that much cold. And this is about as much cold as I can handle, what we're going to be getting. Yes, but they should be shade grown here. Oh, is that right? A shade grown. And we do, and palms, we do actually have them grown in the shade here as well. So I just sowed a bunch of trachea seeds in the baggy method. You can see the video I shot. And I do like to put those videos on every so often because there's new people joining us on the channel that don't know about the baggy method. So a really easy way to germinate palm seeds in a small space in your house. I mean, not everybody has a greenhouse. And right now, I'm not starting seeds in the greenhouse because it's too cold. Our greenhouse is not heated. Okay, it's not heated except for Christmas lights. I turn them on when it gets cold. So if it gets cold, I'm going to turn on the Christmas lights. That's it. And I got dual fans going. And then I got all the cold frames out there that are not heated as well. So, and all the palm trees are out in the nursery. And I'll tell you one thing, I've never lost a palm tree. I never lost a Trachycarpus palm tree to the cold. I've lost Butea to the cold. They lose their center spears. But Trachycarpus, they seem to be pretty foolproof here. So it'll be interesting. It's in a way, it's kind of exciting that this cold is coming because it does put some plants to the test. And I always get people inundating me with emails telling me that, Joe, you know there's cold weather coming. Yes, I know. I know all about the cold weather. I know about the weather. I watch the weather like a hawk. I'm a weather nut. Okay, I like weather as much as I like palm trees. And I'm a weather observer, and I'm very observant when it comes to temperatures and, you know, the jet stream and how cold it is up in Alaska. If it gets brutally cold up in Alaska, you know, and a lot of times they can open their doors up and it slides down here. And that's what's happening. We had 35 centimeters of snow yesterday. Records. Wow. That's a lot of snow, 35 centimeters. So just over a foot of snow. Nothing here. We did get some snow a couple of weeks ago or so. It was like a little bit, and then it was gone the same day. I got video of it here. Smitty, I don't know what that means. Old-fashioned Christmas lights. Yeah, no. LED are absolutely useless. I use C9 Christmas lights in the greenhouse. So the C9 ones are each bulb is 7 watts. And I think there's about 20 bulbs per strand. So I got a strand of those hanging in the greenhouse. You can see my video, how to heat a greenhouse in Canada. And that's how I heat it in this part of Canada. It's not going to work in every other part of Canada. We have an 8x12 glass greenhouse, and it's always worked for me. Palms. I've got trachea seedlings here for me. There's possible. Oh, are they really? Trachees are impossible? Wow. I'd have to ship some down there. I'd have to ship some seed down there. I'd have to ship you a bunch of trachea seeds. And then when I move there, so I'd have to get an address, you'd have to ship me some of those seeds. So we could split them. I ship you a bunch of trachea seeds, and then we'll split them. So if I ship you 100, you ship me whatever, 40 or 50, and then you keep the rest too, right? And then we could have some trachea seeds. And at this age, you know, it's better to plant something a little bit bigger. I'm 57 years old. I don't have time to wait, right? So, it'll be interesting to see how the Parajubea trellii does. My daughter got home for, cool. Awesome. Well, that's nice with the 3 hearts and a smiley face. Wendy's daughter was here tonight. She lives on the south end of Salt Spring Island, and she came over and she had dinner with us. Wendy made a really good dinner. We had prawns, Caesar salad. I call it Caesar salad, and sweet potatoes. The prawns were really good. So she was over, and I think she's going to come over again for maybe Christmas dinner. We're going to have a Christmas dinner. So, yeah, it's nice. And it's nice that she lives close. Well, 16 miles away. So we'll see how the mountain coconut does in our garden. This will be its first winter going through, the one that we planted, I guess it was late spring or whatever. I don't remember, early summer, late spring. And we're going to see how this thing handles the really cold weather. I heard they're hardy to about -7 degrees Celsius. I put a patio umbrella over it, and I did wrap the trunk. So if it gets really cold, maybe the fronds will get killed on it. We're going to find out. So stay tuned. If it gets really ugly cold, we may have to put some Christmas lights on it, because I do have old school Christmas lights. Oh, oldest daughter. Okay, so your youngest one lives with you. Okay, cool. Wendy's daughter is 35, and she lives on the south end of the island. And my daughter's 27, going on 28, but she lives over in Duncan. The R is silent, Duncan. So she lives in Duncan. And my son, she's coming out soon. And my youngest son said he's going to come out after Christmas. And my oldest son, he's just too busy up in Nanaimo. Yeah, he's doing his own thing. So I sent them some stuff. They got their little gifts. So anyway, it's good if you can all get together for Christmas and eat some turkey. I guess you guys are doing turkey, right, Dave? We're going to do a chicken. I think Wendy's going to do a chicken. Oh, no, she's got a ham. We went to Costco yesterday in Victoria and got a ham. And gas was really cheap at Costco. So in Duncan, it was $1.47. Was it $1.47? $1.47.9 a liter. And Wendy paid $1.44.9 at Costco. Turkey, yeah, turkey's good. Love turkey. We're going to do ham this year, I think, because Wendy did pick one up yesterday. And she bought a pumpkin pie, but we've already eaten most of the pumpkin pie. I can hear the rain. It's raining here. Just want to see the temperature. Temperature is 6.7 degrees Celsius. Ham's good. Yeah, no, I like ham. I'll eat anything, Dave. I'm not picky. I'm really not picky. I will eat anything. Ham is good. Mom, can I keep your website for the month or two? For a month or two. Yeah, don't keep them in too long. I find they're prone to spider mites when they're in too long. They don't like it. I have some big eucalyptus. Reginans. Yeah, Reginans. I could never grow here. It died in the last cold blast in 2008. We do have Nitons. There's a massive Nitons growing in Ganges. It's absolutely huge. And it's been there a long time. It's been there through the 2008 freeze. It survived. There used to be a bigger one beside it, but they cut it down. But there's a huge one growing in town. So, yeah, we have 3 Nitons in our garden. So we'll see how it does. We'll see how they do. If they get whacked, they get whacked. There's nothing I can do about it. This mountain gum were 100 feet tall, and they made it through every cold winter. So we had only -8, but you had -8, but we'll get colder. So it's -8 there. Okay, well, not too bad for that far north. Caleb just made some cookies. I'm coming over for some cookies. Cookies are good. Fat is okay. You gotta bulk up for the winter season to stay warm. Yeah. So I guess the cold's coming your way too, Caleb. Eventually, right? Yeah, they're pretty hardy, but mountain gum is hardier. I think Eucalyptus doloreampliana is a little hardier than Nitons. Nitons is a shining gum. Excuse me. Doloreampliana is a white gum or mountain gum. So anyway, we have 3 Nitons in our garden. We have a lot of different species. We have 3 Nitons in our garden. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you something. I had a big Eucalyptus Nitons at the end of one of our driveway, poor Providence seed, and it froze and got killed in December 2008. I actually had to cut it down. Trunk on it was about this big. No lie, it was about that big, and it actually froze and died. It was -7.7 degrees Celsius. It killed it, but the seed was from poor Providence. Only the inside of my protection. 7C tonight. Well, that's what we are here. So I need to store them until since they're grown long. Okay, cool. Well, they'll do good for you, Palms. Just don't keep them in too long. 4 Fahrenheit. Ooh, that's cold. 4 says get minus 24 tomorrow, minus 8 to 24 overnight. Dave, that's cold. Keep that fireplace going. The 2008 was really bad. Yeah, I've been growing uke since the 1980s. And I remember, was it the freeze of 1989? I think it was, or the 1990 freeze, December 1990. And man, it froze a bunch of them to the ground. It totally defoliated one beside my mom and dad's place. And it came back again in May. And that was Zone 8 AP. Yeah, I'm looking forward to shooting some videos. 2008 was the worst one I've seen here. So if it's like 2008, yeah, it might weed out a few wimpy plants. I think, Trachycarpus I'm not worried about. I've never lost a Trachycarpus palm here in the wintertime. I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah, I'm wondering how the Parajubea is going to handle it. It's going to be interesting how the Parajubea Torellii will handle it. If it's as cold as they say it's going to get, how will those fronds make it? Do you think? I don't know. It depends how cold it gets. Me personally, Palm Nation, I don't think it's going to get as cold as they say it is. I'm going to say we're not going to get colder than 20 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? I'm saying that right now, but we could. We could get colder. If we do, I don't think it's going to get too much colder at this end of the island. It never really does. So, and I know our all-time minimum is around 12.2 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the extreme low minimum here. So, if that happened, yeah, there's going to be a few fried plants. If it got down to 12.2, I would say Mexican orange would probably take a beating. It would defoliate it. A butylon would probably defoliate. Jasmine's going to definitely defoliate. It's totally green right now, but it does every winter. The Chamaedorea radicalis shows me 14. Yeah, that depends though. It just depends where that's going to be. I don't think we're going to anywhere near 14 degrees. Anyway, if we do, I will make a video of it and you will see. I will shoot my weather station. I will have the video camera on the weather station. I make videos every day, so you're going to see exactly what goes on here. If it's minus 10 degrees Celsius, you will see minus 10 degrees Celsius. And you know what? You can't shoot videos of damaged plants during the freeze because the damage shows up long after the freeze. So you're not going to, a lot of people go out right during the freeze and go, well, this palm looks good still. It looks awesome. Look at the fronds on it. You know what? Give it a week or so after the freeze and then look at the damage on it. That's when it's going to start to show up. So I think the Parajubea, man, it could get damaged. If it did get down to like 18 degrees Fahrenheit, there could be damage on those fronds, but I do have an umbrella on it and I did wrap the trunk. Only the reason why, because my buddy bought it for me. It was about $500 and I don't want it to die because then that's not cool. So anyway, Dave, stay warm up there. I think 14 in 2000 north side of Seattle. Yeah, we didn't get that low. We were 18, so minus 7.7. We lose things in the summertime. It's pretty rare we actually ever lose anything in the wintertime. So we'll see what happens. I'm glad you're not. Oh yeah, no. The thing is, I know it can get cold here because I've seen cold before. I've been growing this stuff for 40 years. All right. I've seen wicked cold in the past. I think one of the worst ones I remember was November 1985. Okay. Mild weather followed by about minus 15 degrees Celsius. Okay. No lie. It came in so fast. And I had these 2 monkey trees that I planted in 1984. Little guys, bought them on Salt Spring Island at the nursery. They both froze dead. We had the cold outflow winds coming from the Fraser Valley, and it completely freeze-dried. These the monkey trees are about this big. But I consider monkey trees hardy. That was 8A, 8B. This area is not as cold as that. I have yet to see a cold winter here that compares to anything like where I used to live. I used to say the winters out there were like some Siberia. It's comparing Siberia to California. So I like to think of this as the California of the Pacific coast of Canada, and where I used to live in the wintertime, the Siberia of Canada, right? Of the Pacific coast. Make sure to be in good hand. Yes. Well, we'll show you what goes on. Guess the temperature here during the disaster. What disaster was that? Oh, you mean the tornado? Snow price. Yeah, so our cold is supposed to come. It's going to be a green Christmas here. The cold is supposed to come here Christmas night. They're good. They're sitting outside right now. They're sitting out in the garden because they were kind of dry. So I had them under the overhang, and now I have them outside, out in the open where the rain can get them. I'm in Siberia 1. Yes. So those are the seedlings you gave me. So Caleb, the other ones are in the greenhouse. I have the Truckee ones in the greenhouse, no heat in there, and the Washingtonias are outside. I was hoping for a white Christmas. Yeah, well, I'm not looking. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing snow for Christmas. I'm seeing rain. Here's the forecast. Oh, actually, you know what? It does say periods of snow now. So you know what? We may see snow on Christmas here. I'm looking at the forecast right now. It says 3 degrees Celsius, and I'm seeing some. You look at the forecast here. Look at this forecast here, and it always changes, right? The forecast always changes. They kind of give you a worst case scenario in the temperatures, so that's why I don't actually go by the temperatures here. Often they will say -10 or -8 or -9, and it never seems to get that cold here. And trust me, like I said, I'm getting inundated with emails, private ones, people on YouTube and Facebook saying, Joe, you know the cold's coming. What are you going to do with your garden? People seem to think I'm a greenhorn at this. I've been growing palms and exotics for a long time. And yeah, you do take your losses in a cold winter. It weeds out the wimpy plants. But a lot of people are actually in denial. They're thinking, well, like I said, I've got all this cool stuff planted, and they've been 2 years into gardening with palm trees and exotic plants. Their plants have never experienced any brutal cold winters. Now they're in for the test, and then after this brutal cold snap, they're always going to have that in the back of their mind, that, hey, we're in Canada. It can get cold, and some of this stuff might get weeded out. Is it even worse? Well, we'll just have to see. Well, if it gets that cold, we'll see. No, I don't plant it's like the Majesty palms are still growing in town. They're not growing, they're going. They're still alive, but they got a few more days left, and then they're going to be done. You know what I mean? I walked past them today. So tomorrow when I'm in town, if I remember, I'll shoot a video of the Majesty palms that are outside. They're going to be toast. But you do get some people in Michigan, and I don't have anything against people in Michigan or some other cold areas. They are in zonal denial. Okay. I know what the growing conditions are like in Michigan, and I know how cold it can get there. I'm not stupid. And they seem to think certain species can thrive out there, and I know they can't. Okay. They will thrive if you box them in and put a thermal cube with them and heat them up. I could grow something super marginal and tropical like here too if I'm going to put the effort into it, box it up, and put a freaking heater with it. But that doesn't mean it's actually growing outside in your growing zone. You know what I mean? If you're growing a Washingtonia in Michigan, it's not growing in your growing zone because you have to keep it at its zone, boxing it in with heat. So basically, it's in zone 9B in your winter time because you boxed it in. They act like where I live or something. They act like where I live or something. Banana J. Yeah, well, you know what? Some people are in denial. I'm not in denial. I know it can get cold here. So, like I say, the coldest temperature I've recorded here in 3 decades is 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see. Maybe it will get lower than that. And if it does, you'll see it. And I will show you the damage on the plants after things warm up. If it gets really cold, it'll kill the cordylines. Cordylines aren't protected. If it gets cold, cordylines will freeze down. They froze down in 2008. It's cold regions that were a bit of the garden might have spots. Yeah. Like our garden is always worse for wear after summer. That's when we actually just ripped out a bunch of plants a few days ago that actually died. Ripped out 2 magnolias. They died in the summer. Ripped out a bunch of other things. I gotta go to bed. Tired from all the snow. Oh yeah. Well, you go to bed and have a good night. And we will hopefully, if I do a live stream, maybe I'll try to do one before Christmas. And if I don't see you before Christmas, Dave, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I do thank you again for that nice card you sent. I did shoot a video of the card that Dave sent us. 11 degrees. Yeah. So you know what? If you went to Michigan, it'd be a lot colder than that. So, and some guy messaged me the other day. He says, in Chicago, palm tree or bananas are totally hardy. And something else he said that was totally hardy in Chicago. And I'm thinking, and I didn't want to be mean to the guy, but I know how cold it gets in Chicago. 21 for you. 21. Yeah, that sounds about right. 21 degrees. That's around -5, something like that. Yeah. No, I'm actually, Palm Nation, as much as I hate winter, I would actually rather it get cold without the snow. So like I said, when I started this, I'd rather it be minus 6 degrees Celsius. So, or minus 6.5, let's say 20, let's say 21 degrees Fahrenheit, clear and cold with no snow. I'd rather have that than the wet, heavy snow that we're going to get, because the wet, heavy snow, I guarantee, is going to cause more damage than cold. That wet, heavy snow is going to bend and break some stuff. And I absolutely hate the snow here. It sucks. European model has a low of 21 for you on Salt Spring Island. Okay. So, yeah, and that's what I figure. It's probably not going to get too much colder than that. And I am curious, Palm Nation. Yes, I am. It's kind of exciting in a way because I like weather. And, when the other two older weather observers were alive on Salt Spring Island, Robert Aston, that's where I got my Stevenson screen from, one of them, and Alfred Temmel, these were official Environment Canada weather observers. And you can see their stuff on Climate Normals on the Canadian Climate Normals site. It's a government site. We would phone each other. They would phone me. I would phone them. The newspaper would call me, and they'd want to write up on how cold it got here and this and that. And I missed that. And then the last weather observer, Brian Radford, I just saw in the obituary 2 weeks ago. He died. He was another weather observer. I would phone up with a weather anomaly, and he just died at 92 years old. So there's no other real weather observers on Salt Spring Island. I'm kind of like the only one that does it. I mean, it's a hobby. I do as a hobby, and there are official ones, but it's more like a corporation. At Waterworks, they have an Environment Canada one. Down at the Fire Hall, they have an Environment Canada one. There's other ones too. 75 here on Christmas. See, that's good. 75 is good for Christmas. Oh, thanks. White with Dreamy Eyes. Cool. I'm glad you guys liked the video. And thank you so much for the card. We totally appreciate it. Okay, so there's a Russian dude in there. View deleted message. Let's see what it says. Oh, it's one of those spammers. Thanks, Palm Nation, for getting rid of that guy. Also seems like the cold snap. Pretty cold. It looks like it will. Yeah, that's the thing. So, 1 or 2 nights of cold isn't bad. That might not even damage some of the plants. But when you get really cold temperatures and they're prolonged, that's what starts damaging things. And if you have potted plants, beware, because potted plants can freeze, and then you're going to have some palmsicles around, and they're going to be dead. I wish I could send you. Yeah, send it up this way. Send it up this way. Warmth in the winter is awesome. But anyway, just a friendly reminder that we are at 48 degrees north latitude, and it can get cold here every so often. Like I say, the last really cold snap that I experienced here was in December 2008. The last good cold snap that Salt Spring Island in the colder areas experienced was about 4 years ago when the lakes actually froze. Our lowest temperature was minus 4.1, but it actually got cold enough in some areas, minus 10 degrees Celsius and lower, to freeze the lakes where people could skate on. I wish it. So 29 here, and it's 29. Okay, I'll tell you what it is here. It is 6.5 degrees Celsius right now, and it's light rain coming down out there. So, but we'll see how it pans out. Yeah, there's cold coming. It's probably up there right now. It's going to hit Dave first in Prince George, and then it's going to make its way down our coast, and it's going to freeze some people up. It's going to cool their optimism. That's what it's going to do. Going to cool every new exotic gardener is going to cool their It's going to cool their optimism, and some of them, they're going to be upset because they're going to lose some plants. Would you say that is overdue? Yeah, because the last one we had here was, like I say, December 2008. So that was 13 years ago. 13 years ago. And on this day last year, we actually had snow here, and it actually knocked over my one of our big eucalyptus trees. It uprooted. I got a video of it. I got videos of the snow we had on this day. It never got that cold, but we had this wet, heavy snow, and it took over the eucalyptus. GTI, it's 33. Where's it 33? It's 40. It's about 41 degrees here right now. Minus 6 and 27. Minus 6 Fahrenheit. Whoa, that's cold. Minus 6 Fahrenheit. I've never experienced cold like that in my life. I've never been in that much cold. 33. GTAIV, man. Where is 33? I want to know where that is. I think Palm Nation, yeah, we're overdue for a good freeze. So this is probably going to be a pretty good freeze, and it'll be good for the lake up in the mountain. There'll be a lot of guys skating up there. So basically, you believe that people got too brave and planted Yep. And reality is going to set in. Oh, New York, that's right, on my palms. Okay, cool. And there are palm trees growing out in New York. especially you get near the water and around the big city where there's urban heat. There's needle palm, sable minor, and then I know Fritz Fell has a garden full of palms there. So it does cool their optimism, Palm Nation. There are people that had just got into palm growing and maybe they bought the wrong palm, an eucalyptus tree. You know, the nursery sold them like a tender species and it's going to get killed and they're going to get totally turned off of growing palm trees. And that often happens. So I look at guys in Vancouver, in North Vancouver, that are pretty new. You know, they got these expensive Butias, they got Washingtonias, they got Phoenix Canariensis. You know, those palms could potentially get killed in a bad freeze. And you got to remember, Vancouver gets colder than here in a bad freeze. I'm going to start exposing them and read them. Well, that'd be cool if you could do that. There's a big one in Pisame's got a massive one growing in Seattle. It's been outside about more than a decade, and he posted a picture of it on People Who Love Palm. It's a big Washingtonia. And you know what I would do with that? I don't even think I'd cut the fronds off. I'd get some C9 Christmas lights and wrap the 11 SHIT out of it, all the way up and down, center spear, wrap the trunk, plug it in, and pray that the power doesn't go out on the coldest night. Oh, you have banana Morelia are nice. Big arbutus on property with big offshoot. Worry about. Yeah, another thing, Bob, with eucalyptus or arbutus, they can break. They can be kind of brittle. And knock on wood, none of them. We have towering arbutus trees on our property. They rarely ever lose a branch. Vancouver's forecast to have single-digit lows. Yeah, so it just really depends where you are in Vancouver. You get down to Beach Avenue, that's like 9A, right? It does palms. Oh, there's tons of palms in Langford. Did you see my videos? My videos, Goldstream is in Langford. I just uploaded the latest videos I uploaded are in Langford. That's Goldstream. Tons of palms. The streets are lined with palm trees. There's palm trees all over Victoria. 30 Morelia, cool. Ensete Morelia, Ensete ventricosa Morelia, that's the red one. They're beautiful. So yeah, there's lots of palm trees in Langford, beautiful camarops and huge cordylines there too. Lots of southern magnolias. We were there yesterday getting her dog groomed. Wendy goes every 6 weeks to Langford, and when I go with her, I say, I got to walk through Langford because it says, welcome to Langford. You can see my videos, and then you can see all the palm trees. They're like freaking everywhere. So I asked somebody one time when I was there, I said, you know, who's responsible for this awesome landscape? And you know what she told me? She lives there. She says, the mayor of Langford / Goldstream. He loved palm trees, so he wanted the whole town landscaped in palm trees many moons ago. I sowed the seeds from Langley. Oh, cool. Okay, they're actually from Cloverdale, which is just as cold as Langley. And germination, room temperature. Room temperature in your house, they're gonna germinate. And the Cloverdale, those palms are so freaking tough. I cannot believe, like, they've gone through the winter, like, say, December 1990. They went through the bad freeze of 1998, 96, 98, 2008. And it gets a lot colder out there. And they're also subject to cold Arctic outflow winds. So when it gets cold here, say it gets to -5 Celsius here, we're going to get zero cold wind, okay? Zero. We don't get outflow winds here. But Cloverdale, your face will freeze, man. That's where those palms are growing. It gets so flipping cold there. I remember living in Langley, which isn't far from Cloverdale, and I couldn't talk. My mouth was so frozen sometimes outside when I'd be working. That's how the wind is blowing on these palm trees, and they're like 25, 30 feet tall now. They were planted as little seedlings, right? So these offspring from these palms are so freaking tough. They're all over the garden. I got videos of these seedlings all over the garden. You say it gets in the... Oh, yeah. In a bad winter, for sure. It's been down 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Those palms have survived with wind. So wind doesn't actually make the temperature go down, but it sure makes it feel like it's gone down, and it can damage things. It desiccates them. But these palms are so tough and so climatized. I can tell you a story. The very first year he planted palms there, and I went to the nursery to pick them up, he bought these 2 imported palm trees, 6 feet of trunk on them. They froze the very first winter. The one and the seedlings, we planted some seedlings right after, and those ones made it. The locally grown seedlings from Vancouver made it. And they were from palms that were planted in the 1960s. That's where the seed came from. So the ones that we planted that got killed in a bad freeze were imports from California. 6 feet of trunk. He planted them and they got killed the first winter. What do you think about trimming camera? No, I don't like it. That's my opinion. I don't like them like that, but some people do, and to each his own. I like a nice, full, bushy looking camera ops. No, they should thrive there. I think those Trachycarpus palms will thrive in your location. It's Zone 8A, 8B in Cloverdale. And I'm definitely seeing more palms in Cloverdale now, too. Like years ago, really, I didn't see any palms. I'm thinking those might have been the first palm trees in Cloverdale, the ones that we planted at Phil's place. And I got Phil into growing palm trees. He didn't know palm trees grew here until he met me. And then I told him about, well, you know, it was a garden contest. I won it in Langley. He won it in Cloverdale. And everybody had to meet at the real estate office in Surrey to pick up their award. And at the award ceremony, they showed a few slides of each person's garden. Well, when my garden was shown, it had palm trees, and no other garden had palm trees. So then he came over and talked to me. One thing led to another. He came out to see our garden. He wanted to grow palm trees. So that's how Phil got into palm trees. Florida imports die. Yeah, Florida imports are no good. And they're skinny, the trunks. The ones that you got, Zach, will have nice, thick trunks and stiff fronds on. They are badass palms. They really are. So the seed, the parent plants, the original parent plants from those palms, if you go way back, came from Lugano, Switzerland. Gerard Peary is a longtime palm grower on the Pacific coast of Canada. He died in 2012 when he's in his late 80s. He was responsible for a lot of the palm plantings back in the 1960s in Vancouver. So he was a Swiss guy, staying at a hotel in Lugano, Switzerland. In front of the hotel, there were some Trachycarpus palms. He comes out and he pulls some seed off the palms, takes the seed back to Vancouver, grows them in 1966. The palm trees are still there in his garden. They survived minus 17.8 degrees Celsius in 1968. That's 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So the grandfather plants of your palms survived 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The record cold in Vancouver in December 28th, 1968. So then he grew, his palms started producing offspring. The offspring are what are growing in Cloverdale. Those are offspring from the original palms that came from Switzerland in the 1960s. So you have hardy palms. The ones in Salt Spring are hardy, but they're not going to be as hardy as the ones from Cloverdale. But still, they got super fat trunks. They're the ones in front of the local pub. Super fat trunks and nice stiff fronds. Do you know what the hardiness average jank? I don't know what jank is again. I forget when that one is. Palms finally found a green camera ops for sale. Oh yeah, cool. And they'll do well where you are. They will do well, definitely. Yeah, the ones in front of the local pub. So those are the ones from Salt Spring for you. And yeah, they do have thick trunks, man. They're like freaking massive. And they got super stiff fronds. And you know, another one with a really thick trunk is the ones growing in front of the Chamber of Commerce. And I grew those from seed, and I planted those years ago. It's just little babies, and it's got like a freaking massive trunk. We also have some with really thick trunks in our garden. I was admiring one tonight when Wendy's daughter was leaving. We're out standing beside it. It's, I don't know, 12 feet of trunk on it or something, but it's thick. And it's got super stiff fronds on it. So, but it is a female. It's a female, so, but it hasn't flowered for a while. She's been kind of stressed out in the summertime, just so dry there. Right now, it looks absolutely amazing. So, yeah, let me know when those things germinate. I sowed our seed. I'll grab the baggie. I did do a video of it. Oh, yeah. There. So, like I say, the easiest way to do it is put them in the baggie, right? Put the date on it. And I'm just keeping them upstairs on a shelf here because it's warm. The warm air rises. And just room temperature in here, it's about, I think our house is about 73 degrees, 74 degrees, something like that. I don't want it too hot, but they'll germinate, but be patient. All right. Be patient with all palm seeds. I mean, Washingtonia robusta and Flipper are going to come up pretty quick. You've got some cordyline, you know, the New Zealand cabbage tree. Those germinate really quick too. But Trachycarpus seed, like I say, they take some time. Could take a few weeks, or could take a couple of months to come up in the baggie. And once they start getting a leaf blade on them, take them out, pot them up, put them in your garden, whatever. I think they would survive outside in Tennessee if you planted them in the garden. You know what I mean? Just like you plant sable minor. I think they're hardy enough to survive in Tennessee if you planted them right directly into the soil in the garden. Did that one. Oh God, yeah, the one with the trunk looks amazing. I'll shoot a video of it tomorrow. It is badass. It looks unbelievable. It'll be interesting to see how it does with this cold weather. It is, yeah, it grew about, it probably grew like a foot of trunk on it, the one they cut down, and it's got full fronds on it, right? So it grew pretty fast. I did fertilize it. I did water it through the summer months. That's what helped it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how hardy that, because the trunk's thinner. I noticed that because it came out of the trunk. So the trunk at the base was about this big, right? And then the trunk that come out of it is a lot skinnier. It came out of the middle of it. So it'll be interesting to see how that does. Is it going to affect the hardiness of it in really cold weather, which is coming our way? And I shouldn't say this, but I can't wait. I'm kind of excited. I'm a little bit excited about it. Like, I still rather be somewhere warmer, but you know what? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And, and then I can, it puts some of the plants to the test. It really does. If it does, it heats your house up. Oh, God. The pool will be colder. But those are Razorback palms. You got to remember, those are from Zone 8A, 7B, 8A in Arkansas, and they are tough as nails. So if it got to the teens at our place, I'm going to say it could get to maybe 10 degrees Fahrenheit there, maybe 9 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. It could be down. It could be high single digits. It gets pretty cold there, man. It's like they've had a lot of frost there already. A lot of frost. I'll tell you why. Because Rainbow Pool's at the base of Mount Belcher. There's big mountains beside it, and the cold air, and even Ganges is. Ganges, and I'm surprised those Majesty palms are looking as good as they do, even though they look kind of like crap. They're Majesty palms. It's December 22nd, and they're outside. So Ganges can often get frost before us because there's big mountains on the edge of Ganges. We don't have that here. These cordylines are definitely going to melt. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, there's big ones on Salt Spring Island that went. God, they've been in the ground 30 years. There are Salt Spring cordylines that have been in the ground since 1990, and they're still going. So they're right on the water, though. Do you have? Yeah, we have Sable Birmingham. We do little ones. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'll have to go around the island and just see how things have done. See if there's any dead cordylines. We'll go to Grace Point. We'll go look at the Sable Riverside, or not the Riverside, the Rosy Eye, the Jubea. We'll go down to the garden, down on the beach where the big butias are growing, and we'll do an update on. There's a lot of things I got to do, and somebody asked me to work for them beginning of February. They want me to do some work for them, and in January somebody wants me to work for them. So if I decide to do it. So do you have Sable Birmingham? Okay, so yes, we do have Sable Birmingham. So anyway, yeah, tomorrow, if I remember, I will go out and do the chainsaw tracky video, and you will see. Tomorrow, I'm also going to do a video on clancho. Wendy's got a lot of clancho in the garden. It's a tropical plant. I think they're native to Africa. They're very succulent, and they are still blooming in the garden. And they don't like frost. They hate it. That tracky has been there. Well, I can tell you what. There is a tracky growing at Cushion Lake, and it's been there since 1968. I would say it's bulletproof. There's also a tracky growing on Park Drive in front of the Wisteria Bed and Breakfast. It's been there since 1965. There is also a tracky growing on Monteith at the bottom of a dip, but it's right on the ocean. It's been there since 1970. So none of the bad winters have killed them yet. There are some big palm trees in private gardens here. And I'm trying to think what else. There's also one in Cranberry Valley, the one where I did 2 years ago. I did some seed collecting. It's Zone 8A, and it's going to get really cold there. So 8A place. So yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think they've survived that stuff before. Yeah, what'll be if it got into the teens, the cordylines would. I mean, even our cordylines will die if it gets down to 18 degrees Fahrenheit. They'll probably die, and even if we got down to say 20 degrees Fahrenheit and it lasted for many days, that can potentially kill a cordyline too. You know what I mean? So our cordylines are on their own. There's no protection on the cordyline. So say we got down to say 20 degrees or 21 degrees and it lasted for several days. The low temperatures are 20, 21 degrees. Daytime temperatures, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So 0 degrees Celsius, minus 1 degree Celsius. That's enough to kill a cordyline. I've seen it happen before. I've grown Nanoropes ricciano. I lived on the mainland. and it died the first winter. Yeah, I'm interested in the olive farm. I'm wondering how that's going to be. The olive farm has been there for over 10 years, so it'll be interesting to see how those make out. And it's in a pretty cool area too. It is actually up on a slope, so the cold air drains away, but it still gets pretty cold there. It gets colder there than here. They're inland. They're not anywhere near the water. So yeah, the Missouri Parm is Nanoroptrusiana. I grew a bunch of them here, and I sold them when they were seedlings. I should have actually stuck one in the ground. I never did because I had one killed at my last place. I brought it in from California through the Palm Society. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how low it will go. And you know, another thing we have in our garden right now is coming into bloom our yucca. We have yucca gloriosa with beautiful flower spikes coming out, and I'm guessing they're probably going to freeze. If it gets as cold as they say it is, yeah, the flower spikes are going to freeze. But I'm very interested in these guys in Vancouver. Like I know Dave Temple, beautiful garden in Vancouver. He posts pictures of his Phoenix canariensis outside. How is that going to do? How do you think his Phoenix canariensis will do? Well, I can tell you one thing about Phoenix canariensis, okay? We have one in the ground, and I put a nursery bucket over top of it. Let's see how it does. I'll unveil it in the spring like I did this year. I'll unveil it in the spring, and we'll see if it survives. The other ones I put some in the basement. There's some in the tiki hut. I got some underneath the grow light they sent me to test out for them. So Dave's got a Phoenix outside, and I think he might have put some mini lights around it or something. But if it gets down to -10 or so, I don't know if those mini lights are going to do very good. Eating Medjool for You're Lucky You. I love those. They're good. So yeah, it could be a cordyline killer, Palm Nation. If it gets cold enough, it will kill some cordylines, you know. And well, only time will tell. Like I say, the first really cold night is going to be Christmas night. And they are saying right here on our Southern Gulf Island forecast, I am seeing -4 degrees Celsius. And then I see -8 on Sunday for low. And Monday I see -5. You know, it's nothing that I haven't seen before. Really, I've seen lots of forecasts like this before, so I don't get into a panic. But I know some people are panicking. I know some of these guys in Vancouver like scrambling. It's like, God, no, it's not supposed to get that cold here. We planted palm trees. It can't get that cold here now. Well, guess what, folks? Reality check. It does, and it can get that cold here. And it is going to get that cold here. So if you have Washingtonia robusta out there and you have Brahia edulis, 2008, our Brahia edulis died. Had it in the ground for 10 years. 10 years we had Brahia edulis in the ground, and it died in 2008. Our Brahia clara really got hammered, and then it slowly died. 2008 was a killer because, like I say, it did last, about a week, and that was the killer. Not so much the -7.7, but it was that prolonged freeze. And that's what I say to Sasha, and he's a nice guy. He lives in Michigan. He seems to think that Trachycarpus palms, which is an arborescent palm, can survive long-term in Michigan without protection. Well, prove me wrong, because the thing is with Michigan, yeah, you can be, you could have a 60-degree or 65-degree temperature, maybe Christmas Day, but it ain't going to last. It's like Toronto. You get some warm temperatures in the wintertime, but they ain't going to last. You can still get to -25 degrees Celsius in Toronto. And I know Michigan is not a warm state. It can get cold too. So, and the thing is, it lasts. When they get their cold locked in, it's not a week. It usually lasts most of the winter. And that's enough to fry any palm, even a Rhopatophyllum hystrix. That's just reality, folks. And I'm not saying that to be mean if you live in a colder climate. That is reality. I've been growing palms long enough to know. I've lost a lot of palm trees in the past, plants I've experimented with. Where I used to live in Langley, I've seen so many Trachycarpus freeze-dried from cold outflow winds and extreme low temperatures and cold weather that's lasted 2 to 3 weeks. Brutal cold weather that's lasted 2 to 3 weeks is going to destroy a Trachycarpus. Mature ones, maybe not kill them, but it will certainly destroy the fronds on most of them. Yeah. How big did the brahias get? I had one brahia. Let me stand up and show you. It was probably about this big with the fronds. Trunk on it was it was quite thick. It was pretty big. So I had that one. And then that was the Brahia clara. And my Brahia edulis, because I had it in a bad spot, was maybe about this high. So up to about here. And the trunk on it was about like this. and maybe about like that. It wasn't huge. It was a pretty slow growing palm. But I do know of big brahias growing in Vancouver, and he's going to be protecting those in the wintertime for sure. They're big. The trunk is as tall as protection on his. There's Jeff in Victoria. It'll be interesting to see how his garden does. He's got beautiful Brahia edulis, absolutely beautiful. Been in the ground for 20 years. He's got Brahia clara, been in the ground for 15 years, and he doesn't protect them. And they actually grow at a pretty good rate where he is. He's got 3 massive Jubaeas, been in the ground 25 years. He's also got a Parajubea Torellia like mine. It's been in the ground several years as well. He inherited it from a guy that had it in the ground a few years. He's had it in the ground a year or two, whatever. And he doesn't protect it. I'm doing pretty well at his place. He's got Camadoria microspadex as well. What else does he have? Lots of Trachycarpus princeps. He has Trithrinax campestris. Or no, Trithrinax acanthocoma. That's what he has. It's big. It's been in the ground over 20 years. Absolutely thriving. So he's got this, and a huge butia, a massive butia, things you cannot protect. He's got stuff in his garden you cannot protect. It's just too big. His palm trees are like 25, 30 feet tall all over his garden. He's got like 60 palm trees in his garden. He's got sable minors and all that stuff too. But, and those don't need any protection. But, and does he have Camarops? Yeah, he's got Camarops. He's got a big sago palm in his garden too. But it'll be interesting to see how those gardens do, some of the more marginal stuff, if it gets as cold as they say. But I'm more curious to see how the people's gardens in Vancouver are going to do that have just recently planted stuff within the last few years, right? That's what I want to see. Not mature stuff that's been around for 30 years. I want to see the stuff that's been around 2 or 3 years. Show me that after a freeze, and don't show it to me like a day after the freeze has ended. Show it to me many weeks after the freeze has passed, and then you're going to start to see damage if it did occur. My Armada is finally somewhat established and started to grow. Oh man, that would be a good palm to grow where you are. Brahia Armada, I love them. I love them. You should try to grow Bismarckia too. Bismarckia is a awesome palm. Gotta love Bismarckia. Anyway, I was going to say the thumbnail on this video is of me and my friend Penny 25 years ago, 1996, when we had record snowfall on Salt Spring Island. It was the deepest snowfall since 1916. Okay, so 1996, we had a really cold winter. It was December 1996. We had about minus 7.5 degrees Celsius here, and we were out in it. In that picture, it was cold, and we had 28.5 inches of snow. You can see it on the thumbnail. And Penny, she lives up in the interior somewhere, way up in the interior British Columbia. I used to work with her, and I was much younger in those days. And if you look in the background of the thumbnail, you will see the eucalyptus trees and palm trees covered in snow. Those palm trees grew to 100 feet tall, and then, like I say, we cut them down, and now they're resprouting again. Oh, cool. Oh, I love Bismarckia. I wish I could grow Bismarckia. But, I don't really waste my time with really tender palms here because, what's the point? They don't work here. Like, people say, why do you get this and that type of palm and this type of palm? I'm not much into house plants. Wendy's got a few cactus in the house, and she's got that Camadoria elegans, the dwarf parlor palm in the kitchen, does well. And she's got crown of thorns, some zygo. Wendy's more into the house plants. I really don't have any house plants. I am more into the outdoor stuff. I have a tiny cactus, Sammy, my daughter gave me I think he gave it to me for Father's Day. But I'm into outdoor stuff, and I want things that at least have half a chance in our garden. So the yucca elephant tippies we have, I actually did throw a plastic bag over it, a big plastic bag. That actually survived the winter of December 2008. So that's Yucca gigantea. That is a Zone 9B plant. All right. And it's been in our garden for June will be 15 years. I planted it in June 2007. June 2007. So it'll be 15 years in June. We'll see how it does. Makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it has made it all these years, and I'm expecting it to make it. But it will be kind of a drag if the cordylines do freeze down because they are pretty tall. But you know what? They always regrow again. The cordylines always regrow back in. So if our cordylines freeze down, they'll come back. It's not the end of the world. And and also another thing, I always gauge the temperature too. If it's a bad winter, the tree fern fronds will freeze off. All right. So if it gets really cold, the tree fern fronds will turn brown. To me, feel good. Palms are. Yeah. I mean, and you know what? It's just too much watering and stuff like that. So I got enough stuff to do outside. So we'll keep them outside. And our garden's full of them. There's no shortage. If we lost a few in the winter, like I say, that's not the end of the world either. You probably wouldn't even miss them. If a few palms in our garden died, you probably wouldn't even see that they're gone. That's how many palm trees we have in our garden, right? So it's more some of the more tender eucalyptus trees. If it gets as cold as they say, yeah, they might take a kicking, and we'll see. And we'll do a video of it for you guys. I'll do a whole walk through the garden long after the thaw, long after everything is thawed out, and then you can clearly see damage. You know what I mean? Because I know there's going to be people posting in my Facebook group during the freeze. They're going to say, well, look at my Phoenix, looks really good. It's -10 right now, and it looks really good. It's still nice and green. And this palm here, it'll be like a 9B palm. My Mexican fan palm's still hanging in there. Well, actually, it's not hanging in there. You know what? Wait till it thaws out. It's frozen solid when you're shooting this video or taking a picture of it. Wait till spring, or wait till at least March sometime when you've had a lot of mild weather, mild temperatures, warm temperatures, and you can clearly see the damage on it. It will show up. Trust me. I know. Because I experienced it. I'm scratching my back. Sorry, folks. Thank God for back scratchers. So anyway, let's see what the temperature is right now. Temperature is currently 6.2 degrees Celsius here on the north end of Salt Spring Island. And there's this map, this cool map I look at here, and you just run the see, it's showing 7 degrees Celsius. That's interesting. So anyway, that's a cool map. I can run the cursor over and it shows the temperatures in different areas. Let's see what it is in Vancouver right now. Let's run the map over to Vancouver. Let's see here. Vancouver is, yeah, it's definitely gotten milder by the looks of it. So there's some areas on Salt Spring that are 6 degrees Celsius. Most of Salt Spring right now is 7 degrees Celsius, it's saying. So, but here it's showing 6-something degrees Celsius. So anyway, I guess I will call it quits for now. I'm going to go grab something to eat because I feel like a snack. And so stay tuned for the weather updates as the cold weather approaches the Southern Gulf Islands and here on the south coast of British Columbia. You will see everything right here firsthand. And maybe, what would be really cool? Maybe I could do a live stream out there. Well, if it's too cold, I don't want to take Wendy's computer out there because I could shoot it through my window. When it gets really cold, the fatsia leaves kind of flip down too, right? Rhododendron leaves droop. Palm tree fronds, cracky fronds close up. It's kind of some protection method. And fatsia leaves turn darker green and they droop. When it gets warmer, the temperatures warm up, they come back up again. That's just the way they work. Right? So Merry Christmas to Matt. Merry Christmas to Palms. Merry Christmas to Palm Nation. Well, I'm going to see you in there in the group. GD Gardens. Who else is in there? Dave is gone. GTIV man in New York. So we got a few people in there today on the live stream, which is good. And I hope you guys have a palmy and balmy Christmas. Here, things are going to change. And like I say, here's the forecast. Well, the forecast. Look at the 7-day Southern Gulf Island forecast. That's the one I use because I live in the Southern Gulf Islands. I don't use a weather network and I don't use this and that. I use 7-day Southern Gulf Island forecast. And I do give or take on the temperatures. I really do. So if it says -8, it could be -8 somewhere, but it could also be -4 somewhere, -5. It could also be -10 or 12. It just depends where you live on Salt Spring. Salt Spring Island is about 17 miles long and it's wide at the base, at the bottom. And it's very mountainous and hilly from one end to the other. Where I live, it's more hilly, and there's mountains south of me, right? So anyway, folks, you guys take care. Thanks for the live stream. Thanks for watching the channels. Check out the Grow Light video. sometimes people, like companies, will send me things every so often. They want me to review them. So they send me this grow light. I give them a review. I love the grow light. I gave it 5 out of 5. I got it hooked up downstairs in the basement. You can see the video on Wendy's channel. For some stupid reason, YouTube put it as a 18 and over restricted video because they assume that a grow light means you are growing, wacky tobacco. And we're not. It's got it clearly showing it. It's over palm trees, but that's YouTube censorship for you, which is absolutely a joke. It's an LED full spectrum 225 light, 225 light grow light. And if you guys are interested in them, they are on Amazon. And I can give you the link. Where is the link? The link is, I'm going to put the link on here so you guys can check it out. So these grow lights are amazing. Okay, so grow store.com question mark REF equal, sorry about this, folks, WEW 1F NWE6. Okay, so there's your link to the grow light. Check it out, man. It's an awesome grow light, and it's only 45 watts. And I'm thinking, well, I've heard good reviews on it too. So there you go. Miss the old YouTube. Which old YouTube is that? The old YouTube. You mean my original channel or the internet in general? Yeah. So you mean my Banana J BJ616 or Jungle Joe C? I have 3 channels. So anyway, check out that light if you guys are looking for lights to grow your. They're only $25. I'm not selling it. They're selling it. You know what I mean? I'm just reviewed it and I like it because it's cheap, it's well built, and it does the job, right? And somebody messaged me, says, yeah, they use that light and they really like it. So, oh, and they didn't censor crap. Well, they censor everything on Facebook too. I can't stand it. So I'm actually in a group called SSI Tribe. So SSI Tribe is Salt Spring Island Tribe for like-minded people. And there's no censorship there. SSItribe.com. I'm on that. It's like Facebook, but it's all people that are like-minded. There's no censorship, and the truth is posted on there, so I love it. So it's a good site for me to be on. I actually like it better than Facebook. But yeah, censorship sucks. I'm into freedom of speech, and I don't like anything about censorship. That's not about me. I say it like it is. But I got to watch what I say on here because it'll get censored. Yeah, I know. It's terrible, isn't it? Isn't it awful how they ruin things? Yeah, I guess it's the new way, right? Okay, guys, you guys take care, and I will see you later, Gators. So have a good night. It is 9:32 p.m. Pacific time here on the Southern Gulf Islands. And thanks for joining in the live stream. I will be back another day. Maybe the next one I'll do when we're having our deep freeze. We're going to have our deep freeze here on Salt Spring Island. It's going to be like step outside into the deep freeze, be like going into a freezer. All right. And I'll show you the palm trees when it gets really packed to certain amounts of temperature. The palm fronds actually close up. They tighten up. It's kind of cool. 23:32. So it's getting late there. You guys are 3 hours ahead, 2 hours ahead of us. Not too bad, right? No. Yeah, 2 hours ahead of us. Okay. See you later, guys. Take care. Love you all. And Merry Christmas if I don't see you before Christmas, but hopefully I do. Cheers.